Hey, what's up? I'm Mike Squires, and this is Couch Riffs Podcast, episode number 134, with my guest, Frankie Clarke, front woman of Frankie and The Studs. Also, we allude to it, we talk about it in this episode in our conversation, but she's the daughter of Gilby Clarke, uh, most famously known for playing guitar in Guns N' Roses. And so, she grew up around rock and roll. Of course, by the time she came along, Guns N' Roses was behind Gilby, but I think she must have been aware of what was happening when the Rockstar Supernova thing happened. I never asked her about that, to what it's like to watch your dad on TV, because she was young at that point, and I think um, might not have made much sense what was happening. Anyway, we had a great time talking. Her band Frankie and The Studs put out a single in September, Not Your Victim. It's great rock and roll music. If you're a fan of like power pop, punk, 70s punk, you will love this. You'll love it. It's great. She also sang in a Couch Riffs performance video, which is released on the same day as this podcast. So go give a listen to that. It's super fun holiday episode. I hope that you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. And if you are enjoying the Couches podcast, please support by going over to patreon.com/couchriffs. There's a bunch of exclusive merch. Let's see, I don't have a hat around here, but I have the new Couch Riffs Run DMC logo, hats and t-shirts that are available at certain tiers. All the audio from the episodes are available there, and you can download them. So that's pretty fun. And you can support Couch Riffs, and that would be much appreciated. The more support I get, the more I can focus on this, and the better it'll get, and the more slick and professional. I don't know if you give a shit if it's I'll never be a true professional. I mean, I'll never be as fuck off as Bob Wayne, but I'm going to do it my way because I'm stubborn. But thank you to the folks who do support. I really appreciate it. And if you're considering supporting Couch Riffs because you enjoy the podcast or you enjoy the videos that we put out, thank you, and do it. Also, thank you very much to River City Guitars. River City Guitars are my very good friends in Spokane, Washington. It's a rad little guitar store. If you play guitar or bass or even drums and keyboards, they occasionally have. They deal in vintage, used, and just all around cool stuff. They're going to be carrying that Marvin Guitars CN90 guitar that I co-designed. That should be there around, I don't know, right around the new year. Like hopefully within a week of either side of the new year. So that's really exciting. And they have all kinds of great stuff there. Follow them on social media. But also, if you're selling anything, get a hold of them. You want to get rid of something? Every day's a buying day. Bobby, my man, will treat you fairly. He's a good man. He'll take care of you, put some money in your pocket, and get your instrument into the hands of someone who's going to play it. Maybe you've got a guitar and amp that's just collecting dust. It's just sitting in a closet or under your bed or wherever it is. Get some money for that thing. Give them a call, 509-818-7693, or send them an email, sales.rivercityguitars@gmail.com. Maybe add a picture or something. I'm going to get to the episode now. Thank you for sitting through my intro. Don't forget the golden rule. You like to be treated well, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated, and don't be a dick. Can you hear me okay?
Hi.
Every single time, I am so pleased with myself that technology works.
I know, right?
I am great at fucking things up.
So am I.
Awesome. All right, we have audio coming in and everything. All right, we're great. We are rolling.
Awesome.
Man, even you, is this, where are you at right now? Even
This
that,
is, this is my bedroom.
even that looks cool.
Thank you.
What do you have going on back there? You got a bunch of inspiration.
Yeah, it's a bunch of band posters, flyers, some of my band's flyers from shows we played, all kinds of different things.
Who did the Bowie thing back there?
This one up there.
The one down below.
Oh, that one. My friend did that one. Her name is Izzy Howell. She's a really amazing artist, but yeah, she did that one.
Oh, rad. I didn't
Yeah.
see the one, as there's another one other behind your head.
Oh yeah, you can't see it, but
Oh,
there's another one.
nice, nice. How you doing? You hanging in there?
I'm hanging in. Yeah, I've been keeping busy. I mean, LA has completely shut down now, which is kind of a bummer.
Right.
But I guess necessary to try and contain this.
You've stayed busy though. I mean, or at least you've released some stuff this year. And
Yeah.
how was that stuff that you were working on that was coming together before all this happened, or did you make that stuff post February when things got heated? Did I freeze up?
It was a little bit of, you froze up a little bit. Yeah. But you're
Hold
back.
on, I'm gonna switch. This is also a common problem. I'm gonna switch Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Let's see. How's that?
That's better.
Okay, good. Was that stuff that you were working on uh before 2020's as we know it started to happen?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. So the song that we put out, Not Your Victim, we recorded that pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But the video we actually filmed during COVID. So
Right.
that was really interesting to do because it set all these restrictions on us that, you normally wouldn't have to worry about while shooting a music video. So it was like trying to find people that were comfortable enough to come and wear a mask and be 6 feet apart and be a part of the video, and also limit it to only 10 people in a room. So it was definitely tricky, but I'm happy with how it came out despite all of everything that was going on at that point in time.
I mean, the good news about all this stuff, not to make too much light, it's a terrible, shitty thing that is happening right now. But if there are restrictions that say like, well, you can't have more than this many people in a room, it keeps your budget down, which is nice.
Truly, honestly, yeah. It's so true.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to see a lot of people becoming more resourceful with, how they.
Yeah, and I feel like also for me at least, I never knew how to use Logic or Pro Tools. I just didn't have the patience for it. And now that I have all this time on my hands, I've just been like sitting down, learning Logic, learning how to produce myself and learning how to record myself. So that's been something cool also that, it really has made us all slow down and take time and think about what's important, where we want to focus our time and our energy.
Right. So how did you write and demo before? Did you use your phone?
My phone. Yeah.
The messages or whatever, the voice.
Yeah. The voice memos. Yeah, that's what I would do. Or I would try and like finagle something on GarageBand that just sounded like shit.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I've been getting better at it, and so that's something nice to focus on.
That's a silver lining. Have you written a bunch this year, or have you been focused more on trying to learn how to do that? And
in the beginning, I was writing a lot, and then I kind of slowed down once I started, because in the beginning it still is kind of unknown, and we were like, our show in March was canceled, our show in April was canceled, so I don't know when that's going to be rescheduled, and I just kind of got stuck because I was like, I'm writing these songs, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to play them. And normally when I write, in mind I have like, how am I going to perform this live? So it was kind of a struggle to write and not see that light at the end of the tunnel. Right. But I've been writing again now, and that's been mostly just like, okay, well, we don't know when live shows are coming back, but at least I can put out something, and we can do live stream videos. We've been doing a couple of those. And just to stay creative and keep putting stuff out there.
You said that when you're writing, you're thinking ahead of how you're going to perform it. Is that because you've written and recorded things that were difficult to perform for whatever reason in the past? Because I've
Um,
had that bite me in the ass before.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it has actually. I mean, there's been songs where I've written them purely from an emotional place, and then when I get to perform them, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be a downer here. But but then I figure it out, and I try and convey that emotion live. But yeah, it's also just like I love performing. That's one of my favorite things to do. So when I write, I like to keep that in mind, because I'm like, okay, this is how I want to portray this live, and I hope that the sound and everything kind of follows that direction as well.
Right. Was obviously your dad probably had an influence on you because of his music history and his career.
Yeah.
Was there music playing in the house a lot, or is home not a place where music is being blasted all the time?
Oh, music is being blasted constantly. And that's because we have a home studio at my house. So my dad has bands coming in and out, and I hear music. I like, we always joke because my dad has been recording an album, and I'm like, I know all the songs note for note before they're even out. I'm like, it's drilled in my head. It's ingrained. It's not going anywhere.
You're like, Dad, could you
Yeah, they're
soundproof the studio a little better for the next album?
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. That's the riff. That's it. But yeah, and then besides that, at an early age, I took an interest in playing music because I saw the movie The School of Rock. And
You're not the first person that I've heard say that.
really,
Yeah.
I think like I was 10 years old when that movie came out, so I was like the same age as the kids in the movie. So I felt like if they can do that, I can do that. And when I started taking an interest in playing guitar, that's when my dad was like, okay, sitting me down. Here's T-Rex. Listen to T-Rex. Listen to the Ramones. Listen to the Clash. And like he started giving me all the things that I should listen to.
What a rad what a rad person to coach you through music.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that it's funny and interesting that like you weren't so you were I mean you were impressed by the movie because it was on a screen, do you think, or because there were kids playing music and it wasn't adults?
I think it was because it was kids playing music.
Right.
And that wasn't something I was used to seeing. And it wasn't just me at that time. My like entire grade, we started an all-girl rock band, and it was like there was like 5 of us that had all seen the movie, and we just were like, okay, we're gonna start a band because of that movie.
That's amazing. Did you ever record that? Did
Yes,
you
yes.
did?
I hope it's buried in the internet now, but
What was it called?
our band was called Sweet Gone Sour.
Rad. And you were 11?
Yeah, yeah. We played some shows. We did mall tours where we because my mom is a clothing designer, so she would
Right.
have these in-store appearances at like Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's, and she'd be like, "Can my daughter's band play?" And they'd be like, "Sure." And us like 11-year-olds would just play Cherry Bomb and like Green Day songs and I don't even know what in a mall.
That's incredible.
It was pretty funny.
Uh, so you guys did proper tours like that, like outside of
No.
the state? No, just like
We just joke, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the furthest we went was the Orange County Mall. I forgot the
It's pretty fun.
Fashion Plaza or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so are any of your old bandmates from that band still playing music?
No, actually none of them are. Only I'm the only one that stuck with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you. I love that you were not that interested by music, uh, and surely you saw a lot of live music, right?
Yeah, I did. I was always interested in music. Like I took piano lessons when I
Okay.
was a kid, but it wasn't really like that I knew that that's what I wanted to do. It was just I liked singing around the house and things like that. But it wasn't until I was like, okay, I want to start a band now, that's when I realized that's what I want to do. And I had the same moment. I went to college for 4 years, and I thought maybe I'll try and figure something else out as a backup plan or whatever. And then I got out of college. I was like, I'm going to start a band.
Nice. What did you go to school for?
I studied creative writing and media studies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So creative writing, you like to write fiction
I
or?
yeah, I focus on fiction and poetry.
Yeah,
And I thought that kind of it does apply to songwriting as well. I would just write poetry and then turn them into songs.
right,
And with media studies, I feel like I learned how to use Photoshop and how to edit videos and things like that. And that's also helpful. I was just trying to figure out all the ways that I can line it all up that it would still be helpful for if I wanted to do music one day.
right. Was there any hesitation? Did your parents like get behind you and say, yeah, pick a creative occupation all the way? Because they both have careers there are really no guarantees.
Yeah, yeah. And neither of my parents even graduated high school. So they were really encouraging me to go to college because I did really well in high school. And they're like, go to college, study business. That's what we wish we would have done. And so I started with that. I started taking like macro and microeconomics, and I was just like, fuck this. This is so dull and not what I want to be doing. And I'd switched, I think my sophomore year, I just started taking classes that I liked. I didn't even know what major I was going towards. And then by my third year in college, I sat with an advisor and looked at what had accumulated and what would go towards what major. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I've been taking a lot of English classes, a lot of media studies classes. So that makes sense. There you go.
Right. If I would have gone to school, that's probably what I would have done, because I couldn't add two nickels together
Oh no, me neither.
and yeah, find a dime. So, uh, so I don't know if I have this right or not, but I think that I have this right. Did your mom kind of like launch the like low cut jeans trend?
Yes, yeah. So she started the low rise trend with her line Frankie B, which is named after me, and that
Is crazy.
took off.
And those those jeans are immortalized in like hip hop songs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of references. I know, it's so funny.
And that's you. Does that ever do you hear those songs and you think like that's funny?
Yeah, it is funny to me. And I remember also seeing women walking around with the Frankie B tag on their butt, and I thought that was so funny. I was like, that's my name.
And they're
But
like,
also like
"No, it's my name."
it's my name. And I think Fergie had a video for her song My Humps, and the whole video is her wearing Frankie B jeans. So whenever I see that, that's really funny to me too. I'll
Wow,
like be sitting at a Hard Rock cafe and that video is playing. I'm like, oh, yep, I remember that video.
that's incredible. Um, did all I had to do once I like grew up was stay out of prison, and I was a success story in my family. Do you feel pressure, or like do you think that you feel a pressure that other people don't feel because of your dad's musical success and career?
I do feel pressure, and I think part of that is the exposure that I would receive when I might not be ready for that yet.
Right.
When I was still starting and still developing a sound, and if my dad posted about it, then I've got all these GNR fans that are gonna be quick to say something about it.
Yeah.
So that, I think that was difficult for me in the beginning, because you're used to your parents being like, oh, this is great, and then immediately having all this criticism. You're like, oh, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Maybe I do suck. So I think that was, there's a lot of pressure there to know that there's going to be eyes on you no matter what.
Right.
But, and also, of course, because my parents have been successful at what they've done, there's that pressure as well of being like, okay, I want to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't want to have to piggyback off of their success in any way. And how do I do that on my own? And I mean, I have them as resources, but I still want to, do it the right way, because I feel like that's what feels best also, to know that you accomplished something on your own and due to your own merits.
Right. It's weird. I know a lot of people with parents who have had, high profile careers,
Mm-hmm.
but I never ask them about their relationship to their parents, just because I'm like, leave it alone or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a higher concentration of people with, quote, famous or successful parents in LA and Hollywood than probably anywhere else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and it seems like that, I don't know. It seems like the grass is always greener, right? I think I feel like I probably had it a lot easier not having that kind of pressure. Like, it just is a hats off to you.
Thank you.
I just think, like, I think it's great. People have resources that they can, whatever. If you're not a dick, you will find resources eventually, because
Yeah.
people like to deal with people that are cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've never had to have the pressure of follow up, and so I think that there are a lot of pitfalls that you could probably succumb to, but good for you for going to school,
Yeah.
but also realizing that it sucked.
Yeah, I didn't I didn't love it. But I think honestly it was the right thing for me to do at that time, because I honestly didn't know. I thought maybe I'd want to go into the business side of music. I interned at a music management company, and then I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that either. So I was still feeling it out.
Do you ever do, like, side work? Do you ever do any, like, creative writing or tech, what do you call it, like copy writing for, like, for websites, or for your pops or your mom for their websites or anything like that?
Yeah, I will help them out,
That's cool.
and also graphic design. I do a lot of graphic design on the side for them, for anyone else that I'm like shamelessly, if anyone needs help with graphic design right now.
You know
No,
what? I'll put it at the top of the episode. I'll put a link for people to get a hold of you.
yeah. But no, that's like I do that on the side also. I design. Now I'm not, because now we're signed, but before I was signed, I would do all my own merch design, all my own flyers and promo and everything I did myself. So
Right.
yeah,
It's a lot of shit to learn, man.
it is.
When did you guys sign?
This summer, July.
This summer.
Yeah.
Who signed you?
They're a brand new label out of Australia called Punctured Media.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually, before becoming a label, they're a merchandising company. They have clothing brands. It's almost like a hot topic over there.
Right.
And so they've decided to branch out into music. And we are, I think, the second band they've signed. So it's
Awesome.
really brand new, but it's been awesome. It's like the dream situation with the label, because they still give us our creative freedom, and they're really supportive of any ideas I have. So it's been great. It hasn't been the stories that I've heard yet. I don't want to jinx myself, but but it's been good.
Is there talk of you going there on tour? I know Australia is in a better place with COVID than we
Yeah,
are.
they
And
are in a better place. They had a pretty strict lockdown that they just opened up again. But yeah, they've been talking about it, but still we don't really know. If I fly over there, they said I'd have to self quarantine for 2 weeks. I
Right.
don't really want to do that. So I'd rather just wait till it's safe and all for all parties and figure it out.
Right. Ugh.
I know.
How long has this band been together and this lineup?
This lineup, I think we've been together now 3 years with this
Oh,
lineup, but the band has been through lineup changes for the past 4 years.
yeah. So
So yeah,
4 years happening.
4 years, yeah, altogether.
And you have like a half a dozen singles and EP. Do I have that right?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't done a full length yet, and that was actually we were going to I think it was I have no concept of time anymore.
Well,
I
it's
think
a
it might have been last year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, but we did a pledge music campaign and we were going to put out our first full length and put it out on vinyl. And then I don't know if you read about that, but Pledge basically filed for bankruptcy and never paid any of the, or didn't pay us at least, anything that we raised. So that kind of put the kibosh on that.
Did they charge people's cards?
Yes, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. And that was a weird place to be in because luckily I hadn't put any money out of pocket yet because I was waiting to get the money to start production of the vinyls and production of music. And but I felt horrible that people had pre-ordered these vinyls and never got the vinyl, never got their money back. And I tried to encourage people to, like take it up with their credit card companies. And I don't know really what happened after that. There hasn't been a lot of talk of anything that's any good that's going to come out of that situation.
that sucks.
Yeah, it was
I
a
didn't know
bummer.
that. There must have been hundreds of campaigns that were
Yeah,
on
yeah,
happened.
yeah. I think Queensryche was owed like $70,000, something like that. Yeah, yeah. It was a big, yeah, it was a mess. So
Um,
that was a little discouraging at that time.
has that has that got how that was 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Did that get in your way of getting on board with any other crowdsourcing funds?
Yeah, I haven't done one since. And it sucked because I had heard great success stories from Pledge. I had friends that had said they did it and it was great. And so it was, yeah, it was a shock and total bummer, but just keep moving, kept going.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Was there anyone that you know personally get burned on that?
No, I don't think so. It's funny actually because when I just started the campaign, I had a friend say to me, "Be careful, they've been taking a while lately to send their money." But they didn't say they hadn't received their money, they just said it was taking a longer time.
Right.
And that kind of stuck in my head, and then people around me were like, "Don't worry, like pledges, it's legit, it's fine, you're not going to get scammed." And yeah, that's what happened.
Oof.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
did you have to make a public statement and that kind of thing? Like, hey,
Yeah, I did. I didn't make it too public. I didn't post it on my socials, but I posted it on Pledge just for the people that had donated or bought items off of our Pledge. But yeah, they have like an option where you can just blast an email out to anybody that participated in the campaign. So I did that. And I just told people like, try and fight it with your credit card companies. Like if there's anything we could do, we'll try and help you. But you know, I don't really know what to do at this point.
um, what happens when you go to pledge.com now? Is it
I don't,
dead
I
level?
think it's, yeah, I think I might still pull up. I don't know. I haven't been on in a while, but the last time I went, it said that they basically like had um, filed for bankruptcy or something. And that was that.
I wonder if it was one of those things where they're like, all right, we got to get some people in, a couple people, and they're trying to roll money into the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't, the other platforms caught on faster and they were just like, well,
Yeah.
we fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It was a very strange thing.
God. So after that experience, were you just like, I'm done with any sort of web distribution shit? Like, fuck all these guys.
Yeah, I was like, especially because, as when you release things on your own, that was like one of the few things that we had as independent artists was crowdfunding. So
Right.
when that happened, it was such a bummer. But yeah, I haven't tried since. And I did go through like a bit of a period where I was like, I don't know what I want to do now, because I was really excited and I was putting in a lot of work into, you have to do all of these kind of like milestone things. Like once you hit like $1,000, then and there's all these different things that you do. So I was putting in a lot of work and energy into it, and for that to not go through, it definitely put me in a weird place afterwards.
Right. Eesh. So how were you before you got signed to this Australian label? How were you putting your music out on Bandcamp, and then how were you distributing
I would do Bandcamp and TuneCore.
TuneCore?
Yeah, I would use TuneCore and put things on SoundCloud, and then I had my website to sell merch on. I would ship it all myself and do that. So it's nice to have some of that responsibility taken off my plate now. It's very nice.
DIY is great and everything, but let
Yeah.
someone else do it for you is awesome.
Oh, it was great. When we were designing merch, I came up with a bunch of references and I was like, these are all ideas that I like. And their graphic designer pulled some designs together and they're like, tell me what you think. And I was like, perfect. This is awesome. So great. I don't have to physically draw it out anymore.
Do you think that because you have graphic experience and like that's also something you do, that you're more critical of someone else's stuff?
Probably, but I also don't think that I'm like that great of a graphic designer. I kind of, I don't know. I do it my own way.
uh,
I'm a little, so no, I'm not, I don't judge too harshly other people's work. I think they're a lot better than I am.
you know, I should watch a lot more quarantine videos that people make.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like I'm starting to get a style. I haven't even shared the video with you yet. It's
No,
done.
I want to see it.
So I think what's going to happen is that I'm going to put the video out, and then the next day I'll publish our this conversation, so we can talk about the song. Typically, I think it would go the other way around, but
Yeah.
just because it's not out. So the Night Manger logo looks great. I just
Awesome.
stole the Night Ranger logo and put an M over it like a ransom note. And there's a manger scene. If I send something to you right now, will you be able to see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, awesome! It's I uh I want to get this would be like one of those reaction videos that you see.
Mhm.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. This is terrible radio. That's you. Um, so it's a manger scene, right?
Hmm.
Um, but with our faces, with all the people in the video
Oh, cool.
over it. So really, really super stupid and amazing. So here we go. I'm the baby Jesus, of course, because
Amazing.
I'm the one that brought us together. So
Yeah, that's your role.
I'm the bringer together. Uh, here we go. Come on. Insert photo. Here we go. Come on. Where are you at?
Is it over email?
I'll send this to you over email.
Okay, cool.
You're gonna love it. Um, I think it's on its way.
All right. I
So
have it open.
this particular video came together faster than, man, most, probably any
Oh,
other.
that's amazing. I just saw it. I love it.
Pretty good, right?
It's great.
Pretty good.
So good.
So, yeah. Yeah, it came together super fast. And I mean, I got it probably because everyone understood that it was a holiday song, a
Yeah.
Christmas song, and it had to happen quick, right? But
Hmm.
most of these things take about 3 weeks per person. Which,
Really?
oh man,
I was felt so bad because I felt like I was taking a long time because of our situation with Pro Tools taking a shit on us, but
um, no, I have some that I've been building since July, so it's fine.
okay, I feel better now.
Trust me, it's fine. Um, so yeah, it was. You said when I invited you, I got put in touch with you by Don Robertson.
Mhm.
Strangely, like I didn't get put in touch with you through your dad. I was like,
Yeah.
because here's the thing: when I'm putting these things together, there are a million people, and that's too many people to filter through
Yeah.
and think. Come here, come on, my dog.
Oh.
She's a whiner. She's um Don. I said, Don, I need to find a rad female singer for this video, and he suggested, I was like, oh yeah. So I want to thank him for putting us in touch. But
Yeah, thanks, Dawn. That's awesome.
you said that this was one of your favorite songs.
It is. Yeah, and I actually covered it with my band a couple years ago. We did an acoustic cover of it.
Oh,
So
really?
I didn't even use lyrics for it. I knew it already.
Did you record it?
Did I record it?
You record it, or was it just live?
We recorded it.
Oh, really? You released
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Hmm.
shit.
It's not. I don't think I put it out. I didn't distribute it anywhere. I think it was just YouTube.
Yeah.
I might have pulled it down though because it was really old. But
So I'm a copycat, you're saying?
no, I'll send it to you though. I think I have a link of it somewhere.
Awesome. That's great. Well,
But yeah, I love that song. So I was stoked. I was excited when you hit me up.
oh, it came out great. It's fun. It's very festive. Yeah.
Nice.
I recorded my part in the 35-degree cold outside because it's cold. I'm in New York, right? So it's cold as shit
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway, enough about the video. Thank you so much for singing and being in the video. It turned out
Thank you.
great.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And you guys recorded at the home studio there?
Mhm. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I put up the Christmas lights and
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone but Timo managed to get Christmas lights involved
really.
because he is the drummer, and so Rosie, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Sometimes Rosie likes to try and get onto my desk. Too big
She
for
looks
the
like she wants to say something.
she might cry a little bit into the microphone. She's like she's apparently, yeah. So what if things went differently, do you think if they if you hadn't got on this path and you got on the other side of school, do you think that you would have made a go at being a poet? And if
Maybe.
so, like, I mean, that's a tougher gig than
Yeah.
being a singer in a band.
I know, who would think? I don't know. I mean, I still write poetry and it just turns into songs now, but I think I probably would have delved more into the graphic design side of things than poetry because poetry is so difficult to make a career out of. Um, but yeah, I think that that's always something that I'll do on the side.
Right. Um, I just farmed out a couple, like the thing that I showed you and the one before that. I just was like, I think this is out of my skill set. But I know that I can't afford, I have to teach myself to do all those things, and I need to get better at them for sure. You said that are you self-taught?
With
Graphic?
graphic design? No, I started self-taught in high school. I would just mess around with it. And then in college, I took a few graphic design courses. And honestly, like the self-taught things are what stuck the most.
Right.
Like
Were there
those,
were there rules that they tried to impose on you? Like, well, these are the rules of how your eye flows naturally.
They would teach us that, yeah. And what I particularly didn't like, and I think why I didn't retain a lot of it, is there was a textbook, and you would just have to complete lessons right out of the textbook. It would like step by step instruct you how to, I don't know, clear somebody's skin and remove all their blemishes and do all these things. And I'm like, tell you what tools to use. And I feel like that's not really, I just learned by just doing it and figuring it out myself and reading it. I just didn't, it was more difficult to retain that way for me.
And if you look at if you look at classic flyers,
Mm-hmm.
which is like some of my favorite art, and
Yeah.
like pop art and any of that stuff, like I don't think they follow any of those rules.
No, I don't think so.
And
It's the same with music, and why I didn't want to study music theory is because I felt like I didn't want there to be this set of rules, and I felt like I had to always think about that. So I purposefully didn't study. I took one class, music theory, in college, and that was it. And then after that, I was like, nope, no more. I've had enough.
you didn't like it. Was it like sitting at a keyboard and learning
Yeah.
modes and blah blah
Yeah,
blah?
exactly. All of that.
I never got too deep into that stuff because I don't have the patience for it.
I don't either. And it's so funny because so many musicians I talk to don't really, I mean, they have like a basic understanding of music theory, but not a lot do, really.
I think I recognize now more than I used to when I was a kid. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pursue that when I was younger because I didn't have the patience. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily regret it, but I think it's kind of like reading a lot of books and
Mm-hmm.
getting a vocabulary. Like
Yeah, totally.
if you're a kid that was in like advanced placement English, you probably have a better vocabulary than other high school graduates, right? So I think in a lot of ways that's how music theory works. Like you just have
Yeah.
to just come on, come on, come on. This one, I'm telling you. Do you guys have animals?
We do. We have two dogs that rule our life.
What are they?
I have an old English bulldog and a French bulldog.
An English bulldog. That's a slobbery one. A big.
Yes, yeah. He looks like the traditional English bulldog, but like a little bit bigger, and his snout is longer. That's the old English bulldog.
Oh yeah.
And but they're just like, they terrorize our house, the two of them. They completely run the household.
What's his name?
Crocodile.
Crocodile. Does he have a?
Crocodile and Sheena. You can guess where her name came from.
Sure. Yeah. That's great. Um. So you said that, and I know. I mean, I only see the news, and when we only see the news, that's what we know, right?
Hmm.
LA is like shut down, but groceries you can go to the grocery store.
You
Yeah.
can go to the grocery store. You can hike. That's all I've been doing.
Right.
And that's about, you can still go into retail stores also, but they're at 20% capacity, I believe. So it's like there's just lines everywhere if you want to go in somewhere, and that just seems I mean, I want to support my local businesses, and I've just been doing like a lot of online buying from stores that I would normally shop at online. But yeah, it's strange. I was, when restaurants and bars were open, I would go only places that I felt like were following the guidelines, because there were some places where I felt like the tables were all on top of each other and people were like standing around and not
Right.
wearing masks, and it's a little scary. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed too much for me, other than the occasional I would go out to bars and restaurants. But yeah, I'm a homebody anyways. It's not a whole lot different.
I don't mind not being able to go out to restaurants all that much.
Yeah,
I wish I
yeah,
could see some shows, but
me
I
too.
live out in the country now. I don't live in Brooklyn anymore. Rosie,
Mm.
you can sit on me, but I don't want you putting your butthole on my jeans. I just washed them, you know? Come on. Um, you said there's a lot of great hiking, and I think that people who don't live in LA or have never been there don't realize like the hills around are great for hiking.
Yeah.
Has it been a bit like I've seen a lot of my LA friends posting hiking pictures?
Hmm.
Is it busier on the trails than ever?
It it actually, yeah, I'd say during the week it definitely is busier than it would normally be during the week. If
And people
I
take the
mean,
weekends off?
yeah. But I went to Griffith Park yesterday and did a hike there, and there were a lot of people hiking, a lot
Right.
more than there would normally be on a Thursday afternoon.
Right. It's Friday.
Yep.
I don't even know what damn day it is.
I literally just had to look at the little timestamp on my computer to tell you that.
I've been, there was some stuff that happened at work, and I've been home all week. It's
Hmm.
like I can't go to the grocery store. I live rurally. I live like out away from things enough like I can't get groceries delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do Amazon Fresh, that
No,
kind of
no,
thing?
we go to the grocery store.
You do. Do you do
Yeah.
contactless pickup?
No, I just go in and
They have
you
that in LA?
know. They do. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I might give that a go. Not because I don't trust the grocery store, but there's a lot of dumbasses out here in the country.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying that everyone out in the country is a dumbass because they're not.
But are there less cases where you are?
No, it's spiking at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's going like through the fucking roof.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like I said, at work, we had some people get sick, and like
Mm.
everyone that came in contact, you're done. Like,
Did you get that phone alert last night? I got a phone alert that said that they're going to start contact tracing via phone if you turn on this tracking. Yeah, I was kind of freaked out by it.
that sounds, that's weird. I mean,
Yeah, I said not right now. If it gave the option of continue or not now, and I said not now because I feel like it's just gonna amplify my anxiety that if I go to the grocery store, it's gonna be like, oh, you were just possibly in contact with someone with COVID, and then I'm gonna be like freaking out, having an anxiety attack.
right.
So
Uh,
I don't know.
it's such a weird time because those sorts of texts feel like that spam phone call that everyone
Yeah.
I know has gotten that's like, your social security number has been frozen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to call this number or else we're going to fucking murder you and your whole family.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I get that call once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me
the
too.
first time I heard it, oh, this is good. I just remembered this. The first time I got that, I called the number and just fucked with them. And then I called back like 48 times and just fucked with them. And I filmed myself fucking with
Mm-hmm.
them the whole and
That's
to
great.
the point where at the end, the guy on the other end was like, "Oh, it's you again," and he would just start cussing at me. It was awesome.
You should have you posted that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. I have to check it out then.
I even posted the number and said, "Hey everyone, call this number and just
Amazing.
give them your social security number. Just make up a bunch of numbers. Just give them a bunch of funny information."
That's hilarious.
There's got to be. I mean, these people deserve that kind of shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're scamming.
Yeah.
And I think that they get away with it a lot.
Well, there are people out there in the world that, even if it's only a momentary lapse of sense and reason,
Hmm.
they'll fall for it. Like
Yeah.
something might, it might not set off an alarm.
But now it's also at the point where if I do get something that is legit, like I got a survey from the California government about COVID and I just assumed it was spam and I didn't answer it.
Threw it away, and they're like, now you're in jail, Frankie.
Yeah. Seriously.
Have fun. 9 months in county. Have you ever? You seem like the kind of person that never caused trouble. Did you ever get in any trouble? You ever been arrested?
No, I'm a goody two shoes.
Yeah, I never got arrested either. I never got. I'm the only person in my family that never got arrested.
Really?
Yeah. Uh, I mean, even though your old man was like in, you know, the dangerous band of
Yeah.
dangerous bands, I don't think he's ever been arrested, has he? He never got in.
I
He
don't think
never.
so. You know, he has that song Tijuana Jail, and I've been asking him ever since I heard it if that's legit or not, and he will not tell me. He will not tell me the truth.
He wants you to believe that he's the bad boy.
Yeah. And that he survived Tijuana Jail.
You know, I almost ruined a gig for him once.
Really?
He didn't tell you that?
No.
Uh, I've told this story a bit, but it was the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being filmed. It's in front of a big audience in Cleveland, you know?
Yeah.
And I was teching for him. And we sound checked, and they rehearsed the night before, and he had this rented amp that sounded so good. It was this like 70s JMP, and he was like, this is just like my amp at home. This is perfect. I love it. And then we didn't even bother dialing in the backup because it sounded so good. We didn't even think about it. Plus
Mm-hmm.
it was like 3 a.m. at that point. So the next day we set everything up. They sound checked. It was great. I did manage to hand him a guitar that was in tune, but everything else was wrong. Like, uh, and he was the coolest about it. And like, he didn't even mention it afterwards. I was just like, fuck, I'm so sorry. And he's like, well, I don't care, man. You know, it's not a big deal. It's like, nope, it's not going to kill anyone. Is that his parenting style as well?
No, that's why I was so shocked.
He was the coolest. He was like, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like when he went to go play, all of his shit was turned all the way down, and we had blown his amp up. Like when I turned it on, it blew up. So we had to swap that out, put the replacement up. And he was just like, it seemed like the least of his worries. He was just like, don't even care. And if you watch the video at the beginning of the song, you'll see him back there fiddling with his amp because
Mhm.
we just plugged it in for the first time, like seconds before they started.
That's
And he
crazy.
was, yeah, whatever.
Mhm.
Not his parenting style though.
No.
He's like a regular dad.
Yeah, no, he was, I wouldn't say he was strict, but I mean, he didn't let me get away with things. He would always make sure to let me know if I did something wrong.
Well, he's probably seen some of the worst behavior that humans are capable of
Yeah.
in life. To be fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show. I was so bummed that I couldn't go. I was in school at the time, and so I couldn't go. But Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day was the presenter, and I was just beside myself that I couldn't be there to meet him.
Right.
And my parents got me his autograph that night because I was just like, I like didn't even want to talk to them. I was like so upset. And they're like, well, we got you his autograph, so you can calm down about it now. And now it's crazy because my band, we toured with him, and so it was a full circle moment.
You did.
We did, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Uh,
Yeah.
where was that at? Where is it, a US tour?
Yeah, we did a US. My band, we only did the West Coast dates with them because we had another commitment when they went to the East Coast, which I'm so bummed because I would have loved to play in New York
Yeah.
and the East Coast shows with them. But yeah, we started in Tijuana, Mexico, and we made our way all the way up to Vancouver, Canada. And it was honestly like the most fun I've ever had. It was so much fun.
Where did you guys play in Tijuana?
There's this bar called the Mustache Bar.
The Mustache Bar.
Yeah. It was cool because it was his side project band called The Long Shot.
Yeah.
And so all the shows, I think the biggest show we played was 1,500 capacity. So they were all small and intimate. And so it was really special because normally if you wanted to go see Green Day, you would see them at an arena, a stadium. So
Yes.
it was a really special experience for fans and great for us because we were direct support and people would pile in early to get a good spot. And so we played basically to a full house. It was awesome.
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah, it was great.
What do you think that so you met him and hung with him some on that
Mhm.
West
Yeah.
Coast? Were you nervous to meet him, or do you think that your meeting people was sort of tempered by growing up in LA and growing up around musicians?
No, I was so nervous because I feel like with me, I like there's certain people that I idolize and I worship and like if I meet them, I'm just like I can't even speak and he was one of them for me. And so I remember it was the first show we played. I was just like tuning my guitar and I felt someone come up behind me and be like, "Hey, I'm Billy." And I was just like I just had this moment where like I didn't even know my name anymore. And it took me aback, but and then like once I started to get to know him, he's so personable and like we would have conversations and he was awesome.
Yeah. I love that that seems to be, and I talk to folks a lot about meeting, you know, their idols and folks
Hmm.
that they've been inspired by, and meeting the people that inspired them to do what they do now, you know.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like even after that initial like the breath goes out of your lungs, you know, when you're like, um, it it never really gets old. Like it's always pretty fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You
it doesn't get old. You're not just like, "Oh yeah." I'm still anytime if I see him, I'm like
know.
oh my god, that's Billy Joe.
Who else were your favorite bands when you started getting into music that because I imagine like other kids when you're 10 years old, the other kids weren't listening to fucking T-Rex,
No.
right?
I was like showing all my friends, like, look at this. My dad showed me this band, T-Rex. It's so cool. And I got into the Runaways that same way, and the Ramones and David Bowie. And then on my own, I discovered, well, not really on my own. Someone in my class was like, if you like rock and roll so much, you should check out Green Day. And that's how that all started.
Right.
And so the first record I heard by them was American Idiot, and then I kind of went backwards, did my homework, and really got into them. And then I also love Paramore, The Strokes, like bands like that too. I got into.
Right. More bands that were less influenced by the other like 70s music, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because that was like when I was younger, I was really into pop punk, like My Chemical Romance, Green Day, Paramore, all that kind of stuff. And then I kind of moved away from it, went back to dip back into glam rock and punk. And lately I've been turning back around to it. And I think it's because My Chemical Romance announced that they're reuniting and the singer from Paramore, she just released a solo record. So it's interesting to see them evolve as I've evolved also. And I feel like there's some kind of parallel. And with the music I've been writing, it's kind of taking on the same journey as those bands have, I guess, now.
Right. In in LA, are there bands that you feel a kinship to that you stylistically work with?
Yeah, there are bands here. It was tough in the beginning because I was like I don't know if there are other rock bands out there. And then once I because I wasn't really one to go out either. I was kind of like I would stay at home and play video games and so once I started going out and finding bars that were like would play rock music and rock bands would play, then I would start to be like, hey, we should, I have a band, we should play some shows together. And there definitely are there's like it's small, but there's a small circle of us that will play shows together and hang out and whatnot.
Yeah. Who are they?
There's one band, they're actually an Orange County based band, but we played with them a few times. They're called Them Evils,
Hmm.
but they're cool with us. They always, if they're playing a show in Costa Mesa or something, they hit us up to open because that's not our territories LA, so it's cool when we get to go over there and play with them and get introduced to their crowd. Um, who else? I'm trying to think. I'm so bad at thinking on the spot
Oh, that's
lately.
all right. Have you guys done other tour? Like, you've played a lot in LA, and now I know you've been to Orange County.
Hmm. Yes.
Uh, and you've done the West Coast. Have you guys been to the East Coast, or have you done some?
Yeah,
You
we
have.
have. A few years ago, we did some shows around Fashion Week in New York.
Oh yeah.
We got asked to play a party for this magazine called Alice Magazine. And so we flew out for that one show, and then I just booked like I think 4 other shows in around the area, like 2 in Brooklyn, 1 in Manhattan,
Where
and
did you guys
yeah,
play in Brooklyn?
it was this place called the Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's there anymore, but and then we played somewhere. We played the Highline Ballroom, I think, and then we played at Berlin also.
Awesome.
Yeah, I loved playing in New York. I love New York. It's like if I wasn't from LA and have like my family and my friends here, I would move to New York. I love it there so much.
I love New York. You know, I mean, we left New York because it was so expensive. Like you
Yeah,
gotta have you gotta have it happen and to make it work there.
yeah,
You're paying
definitely.
$3,400 a month for rent.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
So
That's
crazy.
twice as much as our mortgage here.
Yeah.
You know? And we're
That's
2 hours away. We can take the train in easy peasy.
mhm.
And when you live
Yeah.
in the country, sitting down for 2 hours and driving is like going to the grocery store.
Yeah. But there's something about it there. Like whenever I feel like I need a boost in inspiration, like I'll go to New York and find it there.
Yeah.
There's some kind of energy there that I
I,
connect with.
I remember the first time that I came to New York. It was like 2000 and the year 2000. You- Um and it the city feels like a living thing. You
Hmm.
know, it really does have an energy that doesn't exist anywhere else. And I've been to a lot of places, and I assume that you also have been a
Yeah.
lot of places. Um, and it's incredible. And that was never lost on me, even in the 4 years that I lived, in Brooklyn there.
Hmm.
Uh, it just is a lot harder when you're not, when you don't have a finite amount of time that you're going to spend there.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of goddamn money.
For me, I was staying up way too late. I would because the bars are open later in New York, so I would just
Oh
be
yeah, till like
out.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
6.
Here they close at 2. So that was something when I was there for those I think it was a week I spent there. I came home and I was just like, I'm ready to go back to LA. I'm so ready. I was like, New York killed me.
Where did you spend the most time? Were you in Brooklyn, or were you in like in the East Village or?
East Village, I
Yeah,
spent a lot of time. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to not walk through there, and especially if you've spent any time doing any amount of music, like New York music history,
Hmm.
historian research.
Oh yeah, yeah. The last time I was there, I was hanging out with some friends, and we went to a Chinese restaurant. And my friend was like, "Yeah, this is like where the Ramones and the New York Dolls would go after a gig." And I was just like, "That's so cool."
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like
Hmm.
I mean, I'm glad that CBGB's is not torn down and turned into condos.
Yeah.
It's it's cool that it is what it is. I wish that it was still a club,
Hmm.
but I'm glad
At least it's still kind of preserved.
it's preserved in at least in spirit, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Whereas here in LA, there, I mean, all those bars on the strip are closing down. Like the Viper Room is, I think, closing soon, and
are
the
they
Key Club
really?
is. Yeah, Key Club's gone. House of Blues is gone.
That's all stuff that's happened this year.
No, that's been like in the past 10 years that's happened.
Right. I think I remember when the House of Blues closed.
Yeah, I think I went to the last show.
What was it? Was it?
I think it was Steel Panther.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think if I remember correctly, that was the last show.
How the fuck is it that a concert venue goes under in Los Angeles?
I know. And well, I don't know. I don't even know if it's necessarily that they went under or they just get bought out by these, like they're going to build a hotel or whatever there.
Right.
So, yeah.
And nothing came along to replace it of similar or even smaller capacity.
No.
What about,
There's new, I find that my favorite places to play now are downtown LA. There's a lot of cool places downtown.
right.
Like there's a new place, kind of new, the Moroccan Lounge, that's cool. It's like 500 capacity. The Resident is cool there. We play at the Redwood Bar all the time. There's a few there that I enjoy playing.
But the Viper Room is going away?
Yeah.
And was that coming already, do you know, or is that a symptom of 2020?
That was coming already.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I always wondered how they made it, just because you can't pack that many people in there. And so, I know that they didn't have like a tremendous overhead with production cost.
Yeah. I
You know,
think that like the Lock got bought out.
oh,
I think the Viper Room is closing. I've been hearing that, but I mean, I heard that like a year or two ago, and it's still there. So I don't know when that's happening. But also Amoeba moved.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds like a terrible chore, moving all
Can
the.
you imagine? Yeah.
That's the worst part of. I've moved a lot in my life, and moving my record collection
Yeah.
makes
I
me
know there's
second guess buying records.
so much in that store. I
Uh,
cannot imagine.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what is the name of that sound guy, the old salty sound guy at the Viper Room? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's still there. I mean, he was there forever. I don't know if he's like. You could barely understand a word he said. I think he was Scottish, and he had a real thick accent, and he was
Mhm.
great. He just was like, didn't take shit from anyone.
Yeah.
I hope he's still around. I hope he's doing
He
okay.
might be. I think I've only played there twice. So, yeah, not that many times.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I've had so many great times there.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, maybe someone will come and save it. I don't know. I don't really know what's happening there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens after all of this. I don't know what's gonna after this year. I don't know what's gonna remain, what's not. But
If everything opened back, like if COVID just like disappeared tomorrow, what what would you do? What would you do?
I would run to see a show. I would run. I feel seriously that's like the biggest piece missing in my life right now. I would go to so many shows. It feels so weird that first of all I haven't played a show in a year.
Right.
That's wild to me. And then I think I went to a show in March. This was the last time I went to one. So it's coming up on a year now.
But you would go see a show and enjoy music before you would book a show and play.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to go see one first.
That's the mark of a true music fan, I think.
Yeah, I mean I gather my inspiration that way. So
Right.
yeah, I would love to go see a show.
And if you had your druthers to see any band in living or otherwise, this is a
Oh.
fantasy question. Who would you want to see?
So living or dead?
Yeah.
I have always, and I'm not just saying this because of our song that we're putting out.
Right.
I've always wanted to see the Ramones. Like that bums me out that I never was able to see them. Like my dream would be to go to CBGB's and just go to a Ramones show.
Right. That would be pretty great.
Yeah, I would love
What
that.
about band that is existing now?
Well, I have tickets, so when it does happen, My Chemical Romance, I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's amazing.
I've never seen them, and I mean, I've watched on YouTube their live performances, and I love how theatrical it is. I love their music, so when that does happen, I'm very excited about it.
Right. Well, yeah, this whole thing. Don't
I know.
semi-professional here. Um, I think that this year, what I don't know. Every once in a while, I think that I've learned something this year, and then I realize I probably know less than I've ever known in my like. And I used to hear that from old people, like, just wait till you get old, then you don't know anything. Yeah, I know you don't know anything, but that's the truth. You know less.
Yeah.
Um, do you think you've become more patient or more neurotic this year?
I've become more patient, and I feel like I've grown a lot this year actually. Like I've worked a lot on myself, and like I've been meditating. It's not something I would do.
It's
I
pretty
would
cool.
normally do. But yeah, I've been like trying to call my lazy days self-care instead, where it's things I work on myself. I like journal every day of like positive things that I want to achieve. And I've been really trying to be more patient, like be more present in the moment and not be as much of a stress case and always like trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. But yeah, it's definitely forced me to slow down, and I appreciate that. I also feel like this year there was so much negativity and so many things happen that it kind of feels like in a way all of the negative things are being shaken out, and now we're forced to see it and we're forced to face it and deal with it. And I feel it's the same way in our personal lives too. Maybe things that you didn't think about because you were too busy and didn't want to deal with it, you didn't, and now you have the time to work through it. So I think that that's something positive to take away from this year.
It's it's a pretty tough pill to swallow if you're not ready for it, right?
Hmm.
Because we're just like we're forced into the line to take our. It's like we're in line with Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah.
Like, time for your medicine.
Yep.
It's like, fuck, I don't want my medicine
I
right
know.
now. Everything was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Mm, what part of when you meditate, it's like recognizing things and just acknowledging them and letting them fade away, right?
Hmm.
How how has that helped the pace of life now? Because we're just at home. We don't get to go anywhere. We don't get to do this or that. Like, how has meditating helped you? Because that's one thing that I'd like to try. I've
Hmm.
done yoga and done different exercising and but meditation never.
It helped. It's difficult in the beginning, especially when you're used to living a fast paced life, to sit and slow down, because for me at least, I would just like, I knew that I listened to a meditation tape that's like 45 minutes long. I'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta sit here for 45 minutes, like, and listen to the whole thing. I don't know if I can sit through that. I'm gonna fall asleep. And I at first I was like that, and I was just like, oh my god, it's still going. And then once you really like let go and let yourself listen to what the person guiding you is saying, and like trying to connect it to yourself, and you just like live in the moment, it goes by so quickly. And after I meditate, this is why I like to meditate, is I feel so much more creative. Like I feel like my mind is more open to ideas, and I can gather inspiration a little bit easier. So if I want to write a song and I'm really stuck that day, I'll just be like, okay, let's just take some time, meditate a little bit, figure out what I want to write about, and then it just kind of comes to me in that way.
Is there is anyone else in your house meditating, or is that something you
No,
decided
just
to do
me.
on your own? Yeah. Do you have
Yeah, just
friends?
me.
Like, were you inspired by friends to do it, or you're just like, I'm gonna give this a go? Do you use an app?
I use an app. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have many friends. I turned a couple friends onto it when I started doing it. But yeah, I have one friend that she's actually a social worker, and her and I meet up at Griffith Park, keep our distance, masked, and we just talk about whatever is going on in our life, and we journal together, and she will like give me prompts and be like, what's something that you want to work on yourself? And then I'll like make bullet point notes, and then she'll actually respond to the notes. So that's been something also that I've been doing and has been helpful. I think like, especially right now, mental health is so important. We really have to take care of our minds. So that is something that I have been focusing on a lot.
I think that's good and super responsible of you to put energy into that and not making sure you're up on the latest episode of every Netflix series.
Oh, but I do that too. But I don't even want to admit to what I watch, but
uh, I'm super into the Star Wars stuff.
oh, really?
I'm into the Mandalorian because
Mm-hmm.
I am the target market, really. I mean, I was 6 when the first movie came out, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like there was a moment where I was like, I don't know if I'll live to see all the movies.
Yeah,
It took for
right?
fucking ever to come out.
I know.
Now you can just churn them out. They got digital technology.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I haven't gotten into Star Wars too much. What was the Force Awakens? What was that, like a couple years ago?
yeah.
I watched that one.
So you're not into Are you into sci-fi at all?
Not really.
But
I
you like
as
video.
I mentioned, I don't like I play The Sims. That's like I don't even know if that's like a real video game, but I play that. um but I watch a lot of like trash TV because I like to just zone out and not have to think about anything.
Like trash reality.
Yeah, I love it.
I can't get it unless it's like a turn a house over kind of thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
this dumpy outhouse of a fucking shit heap, we're gonna turn it into, something fancy in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
those are good too. But I will watch. I feel embarrassed afterwards. I'm like, I can't believe how much time I've spent watching this now. I got to turn it off.
well, I mean, at least you can recognize that. And if you recognize, like, oh, I just binged 5 episodes of some terrible television show, then
Yeah.
meditating for 45 minutes all of a sudden doesn't seem like a long time.
No, right? Yeah.
Almost like cleansing your palate,
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to think of it.
getting you ready for another 5-hour binge. Do you keep late hours?
Yeah.
You do.
Hmm.
So you stay up till like 2 or 3 and sleep into 11?
Yeah. Yeah, I wake up like around 10 usually. But I'll sleep until I'll go to bed at like 2, 3. That's usually I'm up on YouTube.
Right.
I'll just like enter some YouTube wormhole, and then the next thing I know it's 3 and I'm like, okay, I gotta go to sleep.
What's the best YouTube shit you've been seeing?
I I like okay, if I want to sound cool, I like watching I like watching interviews of musicians, or like old videos, but lately this has been like a quarantine project of mine. I've been getting into doing my makeup more,
Yeah.
and it's just like I like drawing a lot, and I've kind of translated that or transferred that now to like drawing on my face. And so I've been watching a lot of makeup tutorials, and there's something about it that it's like at night it's soothing, and like but also like I feel like I'm learning something.
Well,
But I've
because
been
typically they're talking at the same time, explaining what they're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's something nice to watch at night. And then also I've gotten really into through makeup tutorials, I got introduced to the world of drag queens. And that's just like I'm obsessed. There's a drag queen named Trixie Mattel and Katya, and they do these like videos together where they just talk about whatever random topic they want to talk about. And I will sit there and watch that all night laughing my ass off.
That's incredible. I play with a drag performer.
Really?
Yeah, named Mrs. Smith. Do you know who Mrs. Smith is?
No, I don't, but I'll
Smith is
check it
like a
out.
shred guitar player.
Oh yes, yeah. I do know. Yeah, I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah, very funny. Mrs.
Yeah,
Smith, very funny. Worth a look.
yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I love it.
You're not the first person that's mentioned Trixie Mattel. I should go take a look.
Oh yeah, so
I,
funny, so funny.
nice. Well, it's getting to be time for me. We're gonna go. Uh, I've had a great time talking with you.
Me too. That was
And I
fun.
want to say thank you so. This has been like the podcast is fun because it's like
Social hour.
well, yeah, it's totally like a social hour.
Yeah.
We're not otherwise going out and meeting people, and the whole vibe is supposed to be like kind of like meeting at a party or meeting at a dinner party or something.
Yeah, it's great too because I feel like for me, I haven't been talking to a lot of people, so it's it's keeping up my social practice.
You got to remember, like, oh man, I can't like the camera's on. I can't pick my nose. This isn't a. I mean, I pick my nose anyway usually, but um, but I appreciate you giving me so much time today. Like I said, this will come out next week. I'll put it up the day after the video, or maybe
Awesome.
same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do them both on the same day.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Awesome. I think Wednesday is the magic day.
Yeah, Wednesday's a good day.
All right.
Right in the middle.
But yeah, thanks again. Tell your dad I said hi.
I will.
I hope that everything clears up and you can get to Australia and get back to the East Coast. And when you come out this way, I'll try to be paying attention so that
I'll hit you up.
awesome. I'd love to see you guys play.
Yeah, that would be fun.
While we were talking, my wife just sent me a message and said, I got a new place in Brooklyn. So that's great. We're getting rid of the place that she's had for 11 years and getting something that's not a fourth floor walk up. It's a
That's great.
drag. Yeah, it's a drag.
Yeah.
And she's a makeup artist. So
Oh, really?
that's why I know about that's one of the reasons we're getting rid of the walk up, because she's got to,
Yeah.
if I'm not there, she's got to carry her heavy makeup bags up and down 4 flights of stairs. Like that's
rough.
terrible.
Yeah.
But that's why I know about makeup tutorials.
Yeah, I love it. It's so I don't know. I spend so much time watching them.
But yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for hitting me up, and I'm excited to see the video, hear the song.
Anytime you have new releases, send them to me, and I'm always happy to share stuff for people who've been on the show and whatever, people who are friends of the show.
Awesome. Yeah, I will. I think we're gonna put a new single out in February. So
awesome.
That's what we're looking at now.
Are you is it demoed, or
It's demoed, and then this week we're recording it. For real.
For real though.
Yeah.
All right, well keep me updated.
I will, for sure.
All right, have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.